and welcome back to my film and TV channel. You're all staying safe and well. I'm going to look at a film that's causing a little bit of controversy today. Yes, it's scoring very well, but and the critics quite like it, but there's a lot of controversy, certainly with members of the public on this one, about the validity and how true it is, because obviously it's based on historic events. So we're going to have a look at an interesting film today. Please, if you are new to the channel, before I tell you, please push that subscribe button, push the bell notification. The vlogs are coming out. I want to try and inform and entertain where I can on these movie reviews. So it'll be much appreciated. Leave us your comments all the time. Please, if you can't leave us a comment, make an old film and TV watcher very happy. Just give us a thumbs up, guys, so I know you're out there. Be very appreciated. Views are nice, but it's nice to get a thumbs up. It's nice to get those. Yep, so we're going to have a look at something called The Woman King today. Yes, a 15 certificate. 135 minutes, yeah, bit long for me. This one. I can understand the length of it, because obviously there's a lot packed in, but didn't quite tell the story as well as I'd hoped. It's a historical epic film. This is their words, not mine, about the Agoji, the all-female warrior unit that protected the West African kingdom of Dahomey during the 17th to 19th centuries. And this actual film is set in the 1820s. And as I said, there's a lot of criticism, mainly from members of the public, and I mean a lot, not just the odd one or two. But we'll see in the score, some interesting scores about as to how true the events and how they're portrayed in this. So it's sort of interesting. Rotten Tomatoes audience, yeah, they love it, absolutely love it. So this part of the audience wasn't too bothered by what was going on the screen. It was 99% positivity, 4.9 out of 5, which in itself is quite high. I'd never seen that on Rotten Tomatoes before. I'm not talking conspiracy theories here, but that is quite high. Something I've just never seen. I've never seen that in all the years I've been doing this. And as I say, I've been doing this only 2.5 years, but a lot of films, thousands of films. So very odd. A fantastic cast, they say. This is the conclusion of the audience. An action-packed story it is that's also manages to be meaningful. The Woman King makes it rain. R-E-I-G-N. So there you go. See what we can do with that. Lights also, but this is where the first sort of hint of a little bit of disappointment comes in. Also lights an Internet Movie Database, 6.1 out of 10, which is fine. The watchable rating. 11,116 scores and reviews as I'm recording this on the 26th September 2022. All these scores are at that date, and comments. 2,969 scored it between 6 and 9, and 1,263 scored it between 2 and 5. So that's 70% positivity, but that's only 4,000 out of the 11,000, is it? So obviously almost 7,000 people scored it either 10 or 1 out of 10. So that's the difference. So we've got 2,800 10 out of 10s and a massive, and it is a massive, 4,063 1 out of 10s. And I've gone through and had a look at some of the comments and some of the reviews who've marked it 1 out of 10. It's all to do with what's happening on screen and how true it is to life. There's a lot of criticism over this. This involves slavery as well. There's a lot of criticism how this film has been written and portrayed. And that sort of backs that up, that over 4,000 1 out of 10s. Again, it's a figure I'm not familiar with when I look through these stats. The Metacritic users, if you think of the Rotten Tomato users before, they were, 99% positivity, 4.9 out of 5. Metacritic users, only 2.5 out of 10. But again, based on not being happy with what they watched on the screen. The film stars Viola Davis as a general who trains the next generation of warriors to fight their enemies. Directed by Gina Prince Bythewood and written by Dana Stevens, based on the story she wrote with Maria Bello. Also stars Thuso and Budo, Lashana Lynch, Sheila Atim, and John Boyega. This was released on September the 16th, 2022, theatrically. And so just a little bit more detail on what the story is. The Woman King is the story of Agoji, as we said, the all-female unit of warriors who protects the African kingdom in the 1800s, Dahomey in the 1800s, with skills and a fierceness unlike anything the world has ever seen. So like Amazonian women's types. inspired by true events. So it's not. It's going to say inspired. So that obviously you have to take stuff with a pinch of salt when you use words like that. Inspired by true events, the Woman King follows the emotionally epic journey of General Naninska as she trains the next generation of recruits. Yes, a little bit of G.I. Jane in here as well at stages, and readies them for battle against an enemy determined to destroy their way of life. So let's have a look at the critics. Let's have a look at the critics side. As I say, not a lot of dissent from the critics. The critics I'm hard pushed to find a critic who didn't like this, and if I did, it's someone I've never heard of. But all the main critics are sort of loving this. Rotten Tomatoes, 94% positivity, 171 critics, and it gets an average rating of 7.8 out of 10, which is very, very good. That's a high score. 161 fresh and 10 rotten. As I said, the 10 rotten, I've not even looked at them particularly because they're not names that I know or sort of not rely on, but go back to when I do these little reviews. Metacritic, the other site, but look, as I said, the Metacritic users hated it, didn't they? But the Metacritic critics themselves, 76 out of 100. That's based on 45 critics. So again, for Metascore, Metacritic, that's a high score. And it's got 42 positive, just 3 mixed, and 0 negative. Can't say that about the users. It was totally the other way around. So it scored anywhere between 60 and 91 on Metascore. So let's have let's just name and not going to name and shame. These guys liked it, and I said these are all positive reviews. Dylan Roth from The Observer here in the UK said it's a well-crafted big screen event movie that stands out from this year's pack of blockbusters for its context, if not for its content. And frankly, that's more than enough. I have to disagree. I still, the fact that someone's done a film about something supposedly interesting and realistic, which, as I said, that we've had doubt cast about that. I do want a story told well. I don't just want to know that it's about something interesting. I want it actually to be on screen interested. So yeah, I don't totally agree with Dylan there. Brian Lowry from CNN.com said somehow the film manages to feel like a throwback to the action movies of old, while featuring people who were seldom allowed to occupy prominent roles back then. Okay. The Guardian's Benjamin Lee gave it 60 out of 100. He said, The Woman King is a sturdy, rousing piece of studio entertainment that makes both the new feel old and the old feel new. Yeah, I just wanted it to feel a little bit newer, to be honest with you. It didn't 100% work for me. I wanted it to have a newer feel, a more modern feel to it, even though it's still telling an old tale. I did want to know, and I don't mean in a way that I love films like, all right, it's an obvious comparison, not so obvious because it's just the continent of Africa, but Zulu. I mean, Zulu's a film I can still watch now and enjoy. But this never, this sort of tries to be very modern, but it doesn't quite work. So I wouldn't have minded an old-fashioned Zulu type of film rather than what they put out there, or just a way of doing it in a modern take on it, which didn't quite work for me. Movie Nation's Roger Moore, he gave it 75. He'll go, we appreciate what Roger Moore says a lot of times. 75 out of 100. He said, The Woman King reminds us that the real history we don't know makes for a great story. Well, obviously, not according to some people, and a great action yarn. You want to learn where all the good parts and realistic elements of that comic book movie Black Panther and its sequel came from. Gaze upon the Woman King and be thrilled. Yeah, as I said, there is some doubt, and I know what you're saying about Black Panther there. Yeah, that style of film. Black Panther I think wasn't so so crammed with stuff. This feels a little bit crammed and downtrodden. There's that much in it. You just lose a little bit of the investment in certain characters for me. So that comes on to my score. I'm not totally down on it. I'm quite happy with this film. I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10, as I said. And yeah, I'm going to make a proviso as well. The criticism from the public, I'll take that on board. And as far as historical accuracy, I have to sort of think that obviously there is I'm not going to perhaps go out and find out personally. I don't have the time to find out just how historically accurate it is. But on that basis, that mark is purely on an entertainment point of view. I'm not interested in the historical, factual stuff. I mean, that can all be argued about, etc., etc. It certainly will be argued about based on what I've seen so far. I've just marked this film as an entertainment, as an entertainment to me personally watching it. Yeah, so that's all I've done it, and there seems to be a lot of high scores given the film because it covers a great subject, which I don't totally agree with. It's not to do with the context, what it's about. It's what the film is about, and as entertainment, it didn't totally work for me. It's as simple as that. It was too long. I did get taken back to a little feel of the Shaka Zulu films and TV series. You think back to about 30, 40 years ago. And it just sort of a bit like that, but slightly updated. But again, it was hard to get into. It was hard to, even though we did have main characters, it was just a bit bitty for me. Just a little bit of little stories all over the place. It didn't quite flow. Yeah, I think it needed a little bit of perhaps a flashback storytelling, stuff like that. I'm not too sure. It just felt unwieldy. I think that's a word I was thinking of, unwieldy at the time. No argument that it is a good watch. I just think that it could have been better. And as I said, I don't want to get involved in the political side of it and the historical accuracy, but I'm sure that'll run and run over the next, obviously, while this film's out and then comes on DVD, etc., etc. So have a look anyway. See what you think, guys. It'd be great to hear from you on this film. Woman King, anyway, as I say. Nice to get a controversial film and have a little chat about it, isn't it? As I say, very interesting, some of those scores there. I'm not going to say I won't believe some of them, but, you have to take sometimes with a pinch of salt. But when you get so many people commenting, you perhaps have to sit up and take notice. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Please let me know your comments. Till we meet again, I only ask one thing, don't I? Please stay safe, everyone. Bye for now.